Giving up on the quartz, I flipped through the rest of the pages, but nothing called out to me. Mixed in with all the precious stones and New Age artwork were photos of the author and artist, Aurora Birnbaum. She was beautiful, in the expected ethereal way. Most of the photos were of her modeling the gems in one fashion or another, but there were a few candid shots from her life as well, speaking to large crowds of people, trips to India, with her husband who drew a design on the ground as she stood nearby. These photos were just as prevalent as the ones featuring the crystals. While they seemed a bit indulgent, at least I'd be able to recognize Aurora if she came into the store, even if I wouldn't remember any of the elemental powers. Watson chuffed again, more emphatically. Instead of answering his demand for dinner, I held the book out to him. "What do you think? Would you take a hit out on me if I put a piece of black obsidian under your dog bed? It might help you feel more grounded." He chuffed again. "Yes, I agree. I should stick to fiction." With a sigh, I gave up, closed the book, and stood. I'd return it to the New Age section I'd set up at the front of the shop to correspond with the conference, and wing it for any of the practitioners who might come in during their stay. I'd been doing the same thing with my mother and stepsisters, so I supposed if it was good enough for family, it was good enough for tourists. After gathering up my purse and slipping on Watson's leash, I paused to look around the store. I hadn't stayed after closing for quite a while. In the months of heavy tourist traffic, it had gotten easy to be caught up in the pure business aspect of my dream bookshop. I needed an hour or two to connect with it again, the way I had when it had first opened several months before. Sure enough, with the coziness of the fire in my favorite spot in the shop, and the warm aroma of the Cozy Corgi bakery overhead that now permeated every inch of the space, that little time worked its magic. Granted, it would have worked even better if I'd been reading a novel instead of something that felt like a strange kind of homework, but still. Another admonishing chuff from Watson interrupted my wave of fondness for my little bookshop, and I acquiesced, extinguishing the fire, flicking off the lights, setting the alarm, and locking up after we exited the front door. "All right, buddy, let's head home. Dinner is waiting, as are books with actual plots." We made it all of 5 feet before I halted at the shop next door. Dim light filled the darkened space, and I could just make out Zelda near the rear of the store. One hand was pressed to the back wall, while the other rubbed her temples. Even from this distance, it was clear to see the weight of the world rested on her shoulders. Knowing that Watson wasn't going to appreciate what was about to happen, I tapped on the window. Zelda flinched, and her long brunette hair whipped around her face as she jerked toward the window. Her wide blue eyes appeared clearly strained, despite the distance between us. She blinked, then visibly relaxed as she recognized me and hurried through the store to unlock and throw open the door. "Fred, what in the world? I thought you'd gone home hours ago." "And I figured you'd still be at the conference." "I should be." She sighed and nearly melted against the doorframe. "Tonight's just registration. It doesn't officially begin until tomorrow, but I'm already completely overwhelmed." Zelda cast her gaze back to the shop. "Every other year I've hit the ground running and was absolutely devastated by the time it was over, but I think with the added stress of owning Chakras, well, it just changes things." "I'm sure once you get past this week, things will get better. It's a lot to take on with the conference happening and the official grand opening of Chakras all at once." Zelda and Verona had been transforming the old candy shop to the left of the Cozy Corgi into their version of a New Age mecca for months, and had a soft opening a couple weeks before. At the beginning, both of my stepsisters seemed over the moon with excitement, but as time went on, bickering between them increased, and Zelda seemed more drained by the day. I reached out and squeezed her shoulder. "I'm sorry that I've been so busy at the bookshop the past couple of days and haven't been able to come over to help, but I've got some time tonight if you'd like." She smiled sweetly and patted my hand. "Like you haven't done enough over the months that we've been getting ready. But..." She released me and stepped back into the shop, making